Welcome. I'm a Hebrew Apostolic, and my purpose is to bring each and every person across the world to the knowledge of the one and only true Elohim, that there is none like him. I'm also here to wake up all of the Hebrews to return to Yah and to serve him faithfully, for we have broken his covenant, and as a result we have suffered. But now it's time to return, awaken, and be blessed. So I'm here today to talk to you about the Hebrew is black for sure. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, the Bible says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. I'm going to prove this just using the scriptures. And so I want you to think about the book of Daniel chapter 7, the book of Daniel chapter 9, where Elohim appears as a black man with woolly hair. Not only there, but in the book of Revelations chapter 1, around about verse 14, you'll find the same picture being presented. So we know that God portrays himself as a black man, no matter what others have done to try and hide it. But this starts as God has made man in his image. So that means Adam must have been made in the same image, and his very name means clay. Now you don't see much white clay, but you do see brown clay, black clay, you do see mulatto or reddish clay. So this clay that we're talking about is what God made man out of. And Noah must have been the same, for he had to have the same potential, because his children who are born out of him would have to be of the same ability to bring forth all nations. So now we move to what we would call deduction. For the Bible tells us that Ham is the father of all of the indigenous Africans. It tells us that Japheth is the father of all of the lighter skins, or the Europeans, the white folks. And he also tells us that the line of Shem is the line through which Messiah would come, but that these people would be called Semitic, because they are Shemitic, they are Semitic. Get it? All right, let's move on. Ham is the progenitor of all of the dark races, but not of the Negroes, Zondervan Dictionary. So if Ham is the progenitor or father of all of the dark races, that's all the black people, indigenous Africans, but not the Negroes, that means there's another group of black people somewhere called Negroes. And Shem, we know by deduction, is the father of all of the Europeans. Now, jumping back a little bit, Shem. Let's talk about Japheth. Japheth is the father of all the Europeans, or all of the white races, and he has a son called Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz is the father of the present-day Ashkenazi Jews. And so all of the Israeli Ashkenazi Jews are Japhetic in their descent, and therefore not the children of the promise. For the promise would come through Abraham, or through the Semitic line, and therefore the Israeli Jews have no claim to descent by Abraham, because they're converts. If you want to know, they're converts from the 7th century, King Bulon. Go and research it. Not going to give you any more than that. If you want to find out more, go and check it out. It's in my book as well. Okay, so in Genesis, we find out about Ham, Shem, and Japheth.